Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new to this channel, then welcome to you guys. I finally got some time to get a video out to you guys, so I'm glad I can be here. I'm excited to be here to do this for you guys. I want to go through a couple quick things before we get started. The screen that you see here, that is TradingView. So if you are interested in doing what we show here and what we teach here, you're going to need something like this, a platform like this. If you want to try it out, down in the description below, I have a link. That link will give you a free 30-day trial to TradingView, and if you decide to use TradingView, you get a discount just by clicking that link. So if you're interested in that, you can do it now or you can do it after the video. We're going to roll through these lists. We're going to go through the strategy a little bit of what we teach with the Strat, created by Rob Smith. RIP to you, Rob. But we're going to go through some of the nuances and just the setups that we have for Tuesday morning or Tuesday during the day. Now, a lot of these setups that we're going to go through here, guys, they're inside bars. So they're 1 bars. So we can look at those right now. And a 1 bar, you can see this 1 is labeled here. That's part of my Griswold Strat indicator that I've created. But this 1 bar is an inside bar. So it doesn't break the high or the low of the previous candle. It stays within the range. It's a consolidating candle. Now, there are only 3 ways that a candlestick can trade. We can go inside bar like you see here. We can go outside bar like we see here, where we broke the high and the low of the previous candle, or we can do a 2 candle. Then you see these multiple different types of 2. So there's a 2 down where we only break the low, or a 2 up where we would only break the high. There's not an example on here, but those are the 3 setups. So most of the setups for Tuesday have this inside bar. A lot of them have the 3-1 setup. It's a rare pattern. It doesn't happen very often, but it tends to be very powerful. So when we look at inside bars and consolidating candles, as I said before, it doesn't break the high, it doesn't break the low. And sometimes the way I like to explain this, it's almost like an inverse broadening formation. And a lot of you guys, if you have traded before with different systems, you will know that some people call this a flag, right? So we're not necessarily talking about a flag, but I like to call this a inverse broadening formation. So we get into this tightening range, and that's exactly what an inside bar is. It's a tightening range, and we look for an explosion into one direction or the other. Now, hopefully more with time frame continuity, and I want to go through this and let me state right now that when we talk about this strategy, or if you guys are coming from a different strategy, or you think the strat is junk or this other strategy is junk, every strategy can work for every person, but you have to remember that every strategy is based off of probability. Every time you take a trade, every time there's a setup, it's always based off of probability, because we never know what this next candle is going to be. We can say to ourselves, based on X, Y, and Z, the probability is this, but it doesn't always happen that way. So every trade, guys, every strategy that you guys will ever look at is based off of probability. Now, we can look at these inside bars, and as I said, they don't always work out, but what we look for is for it to trigger and then hit targets. And does it always happen that way? No, but we like to see these breaks where we get the trigger and we hit targets or multiple targets. That's off of multiple days. Okay, so here's another one, inside bar, and we broke to the downside. So that's all we're looking for off of these inside bars. And I tell people, if you're new to trading or you're struggling, look for the inside bars. They're easy to spot. Mine are painted yellow because of my Strat indicator that I created. The outside bar, same thing. It's painted white because of the indicator I created, as is this little gold highlight. Shows you where the 3-1 setups are. The candlestick numbers are there again from my indicator, as is time frame continuity. If you don't know what time frame continuity is, it's a very important part of this strategy. So if you don't know what that is, I have a video on it. You can go into my channel and you can search for TFC or time frame continuity. You'll see it there, okay? So inside bars, we look for breaks to the high side or the low side of this inside bar. So we can look for calls at 450.87, puts at 447.99. Now, I give a top 5 out to my Griswold Gold members, and I always tell people on the videos, if SPY is there, SPY will be on my top 5. Zavinci. So we are live here. So if you guys do have comments, you can leave them in the comments section. like Da Vinci has here. He said, bro, it looked good, but during live trading, it gets harder to know when to get in and tell if the price is respecting it before getting out too late. Okay, so I can go through this real quick, but I have videos that discuss this on how I trade. So my personal trading style, I like to trade off of the 15-minute chart, and I like to manage on the 5. Even if I was taking something on the daily or the hourly or the 30-minute chart, I like to manage that trade off of the 5 because it reduces my risk the most. And that's how I prevent myself from getting out too late. I don't care if it ends up running later on, doesn't matter. I play to my own rules. And I'll tell you this, Da Vinci, the longer you do this, the easier it gets. So I heard a quote the other day, and it basically said an airplane uses 60% of its fuel to get off the ground. Okay, and then once it's in the air, it uses the rest. But once it's in the air, it starts gliding. And it's a lot prettier view from up top while you're gliding than it is taking off to get up to that high point. Okay, so a lot of you guys who are new or struggling, you need to really stick to your rules, stick to your strategy, and the rules are really the important part. If you're not sticking to the rules, if you're getting scared while you're in a trade, that'll come with time. Sometimes it comes with trading with a smaller account. Da Vinci says, like Tesla did 2-2 reversal, but reversed within the day. How can we tell ahead using the 5-minute on an action signal going against us? Thanks a lot. I'm trying to decipher how you wrote that. So you got to use your targets and you got to use your candlesticks. So like go watch the learning tool videos if you haven't already, or you can ask me in the Discord. It's free to join. The link is down below, or you can ask me in Twitter and we can go through it if you'd like. But I use the candlesticks and the targets, these green lines here. You can see the targets go, if we're trending to the upside off of SPY, let's say, so we trigger off of this inside bar and we hit this target, that's our reversal. Or we go to a smaller time frame, and once the candles reverse, that's your spot to get out. Okay, and I don't care if Tesla ended up running after you got out. If you got 20% out of Tesla or 10% out of Tesla, take those base hits. If you could do 10% a day, every day, still trading with your candlesticks or your targets as your stop losses, if you do 10% a day, that's 50% a week, that's 200% a month. Okay, so don't get caught up in these Twitter posts, people showing you thousands and thousands of percents. Okay, thousands and thousands of dollars. Concentrate on your base hits. If you can consistently get those base hits over a period of months, your account will grow, your confidence will grow, and you'll be doing it the right way. It's very hard to consistently hit big winners every single time. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, let's go on to DraftKings. That's the next one. Another inside bar. And like I told you guys earlier when we started, most of these setups are inside bars, but we're looking for these big breaks. Now, this was a gap. I had somebody the other day ask me how to play a gap. I've got a gap series. Go into my playlists on my YouTube channel and look for the gaps. It'll show you exactly how I play the gaps when they happen. Okay? So again, we can just look at these inside bars. These are the breaks we're looking for off of these inside bars. Okay? CVS, again, another inside bar. These are the breaks we're looking for. And it didn't hit targets, but this was still a really good run off of CVS. So we're going to look for the same thing off of this break here to the upside, 73.92, or put at 72.78. And the more that we have with our time frame continuity, guys, the better off we're going to be. So for me, personally, when I'm trading off of that 15-minute chart or the 30-minute chart or whatever you guys are trading off of, I like to see the hourly and the daily in the same direction. I don't necessarily need these last four here, the week, month, quarterly, and yearly, but if I have them, okay, if I do have them, that's just more confluence, giving me higher probability that this trade is going to work out in my favor. So we want as many as we possibly can get, but if I only have these two, that's still a good trade for me to take. For myself, those are my rules. They don't have to be your rules, but they are for me. Okay, so here's another one, Starbucks. We look for this 3-1. And here, I'll show you this, guys. I said before, they don't always work out. It's based off of probability, okay? 3-1, just like we had here. We trended up, and then we reversed right back through. Okay, ended up being another outside bar. So does it always work? Hell no, it does not. Okay, but probability based says the majority of the time, based off of probabilities, that it should work out in our favor. Okay, so 3-1 setup. We look for this trigger at 101.86 to the upside, and then our first targets are just the tops of the wicks. Okay, or if we trend to the downside, the first target is the bottom of the preceding wick, and then the next one. So this stuff works just the same way on the 15-minute as it does on the hourly. So this is what I look for, guys. Inside bar, trigger, and targets. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. Whether it's on the hourly, the daily, the weekly, it doesn't matter. Okay, this one, again, it wouldn't have worked because off of this inside bar, because we trended to the downside, and that's okay. Yes, we trended down. Yes, he probably would have made some money, but they're not my rules. Okay, not something I'm following. Here's an inside bar. I know this already, that the hourly and the daily is to the downside. Okay, so we trigger and we hit targets. Okay, doesn't matter if I'm looking on the 15, the 30, the hourly, or the daily. Doesn't matter. I'm following my rules. So the same rules apply. And then we manage on a smaller time frame. And it doesn't have to be the 5. You can manage on the 15. You can manage on the 30. I like the 5 because it manages my risk the best for me. Okay? Inside bar off of Chevron. I like Chevron because we have all of these red arrows to the downside. A lot of inside bars still, but we have these red arrows to the downside. So puts at 159.08, calls at 161.38 on CVX. Here's another 3-1 setup on Procter & Gamble. But you can see here, we've got all these green arrows pointing to the upside. And that doesn't mean it's going to trend that way, but the potential is there. So we go back and look at the last 3-1 setup we had. We just look for the gold highlight, part of my indicator. There we go. Last time we had it, and look, we triggered and hit multiple targets. This is exactly the type of thing that we look for. This break right here, okay, off of Procter & Gamble. On to Meta, that's Facebook. Okay, again, majority of the time frame in our favor. Inside bar, not quite a hammer candle, but it's really close. We can look for calls at 317.07, puts at 316.56. We move on to QCOM. QCOM has a 2-up red. So this is a little bit different than what we have been discussing. So QCOM has a 2-up that finished red. So when we talked about the 2s, one of the 3 ways a candle can go. So a 2 only breaks one side or the other. This one broke to the upside, but we finished red. So when we have a 2-up that finishes red, or a 2 down that finishes green, just like this one, this 2 down finished green, we looked for it to trend up, which it did. This was a 2-up that finished red. We're going to look for it to trend down. Okay, so puts on this one at 117.92. If you guys have questions, again, comment section is to the right of the screen. Probably if you're watching off a laptop or whatever you're watching off of, you can comment there, ask questions, whatever you guys need, okay? Let's move on to American Airlines, AAL. There's a 2 down, finished green. That's what we had talked about. Here's another one, 2 down, finished green, and we ran up, okay? So 2 down, finished green. We're going to look for this thing to run up again. Calls at 16.01. I had Chewy on here for a reason and I can't remember. We are full downside here. I'm not going to pay attention to this one. We'll take it off of there and we'll just move on to INTC. INTC, okay, inside bar, and this is a hammer candle, guys. So a hammer candle, if you guys don't know what that is, we have this big body at the top and a long wick to the bottom. That wick needs to be 2 times the size of this body right here. So 3 actionable signals when we're talking about the strat. Hammer candle, shooter candle, which is the exact opposite of this, okay, where the body is down here and the wick is to the top. That is an actionable signal pushing to the downside. A hammer candle is to push to the upside, and then the inside bar is a 3rd actionable signal. Those are the 3 actionable signals we look for on the strat. Doesn't mean those are the only 3 things you can trade, but those are the 3 items that really push a trade in a certain direction. Okay, so inside bar, we can look for calls at 35.55. Puts can still happen at 34.75. They're less probable because we do have the hammer candle. Okay, if this was a green hammer candle, I would say this trade is more probable to go to the upside, but because it's red, it still has that potential to come down. It would have that potential to come down even if it was green, but the probabilities change with the candle colors and the different actionable signals that we see. Macy's inside bar, we've got full time frame continuity to the downside, so we can look for those puts at 1585. Doesn't mean it's going to trend that way. It may still come to the upside, so calls are at 1635. Morgan Stanley inside bar, calls at 8971, puts at 88.98. If you're wondering where I'm getting those numbers from, if you follow this yellow line to the right, there's the call number, there's the put number. And when I say these are calls, this isn't the strike price that we're looking at, guys. When I pull my strike prices, if we're looking for calls here, 89.71, my strike price is going to be $90. Okay, I take the closest dollar to. I mean, you could go 89.50 if it was there, or 89. I like to go just above, so $90 would be my strike price on that call. On the put, at 88.98, I'd probably take $89. Okay, that would be my put price. And my expiry, guys, I like playing zero DTEs. Doesn't mean you guys have to. Buy yourself some time if you're new and you're struggling. It's going to cost you a little more, probably save you a little bit too, though. Nvidia inside bar, not quite a hammer candle, but it's pretty close, and we've got good time frame continuity. So we can look for those calls at 455.40 or puts at 445.63. We go into Airbnb. There's that hammer candle and the 3-1 setup. So calls at 144, puts at 138.79. The last time we had a 3-1 on Airbnb, we just go back in time. Okay, there we go. And there. Okay, we triggered. We didn't hit targets here, but it ended up for 3 straight days running. And that's where a little bit of a, if you want to turn it into a swing trade, a little bit longer of a expiry date will help you out if you're looking to swing it. But I would use the weekly chart as well if you were looking to have a swing trade, and even the monthly charts. Inside bar off of Adobe, so calls at 532.58, puts at 523.52. Again, if you guys have questions, you can leave them here. If you're watching this as a recording, leave them down below, or you can get a hold of me in the Discord. The Discord's free to join, guys. There is a paid portion of the Discord. Gives you a 1-hour strat course that I've created. Gives you live trading bots for SPY, QQQ, Oxy, Tesla, Neo, bunch of other ones. I think Disney's on there. Also gives you the top 5 every day. For this list that we go through, I give my gold members a top 5 on what I would be looking at more so than any others. Okay, Citibank 3-1 setup there again. Okay, so calls at 46.24, puts at 45.63. 3-1 setup again on the diamonds. I really like DIA just like I like SPY. So this is something that I would look at for tomorrow as well. Calls at 354.87, puts at 351.88. Move on to DocuSign. So DocuSign, here's that 2-down green that we talked about. Okay, 2-down green and a pure hammer candle. There's barely any wick to that top. It looks like an actual hammer. We can look for calls at 51.51, and we can put our first targets way up here. And it may not hit those targets, but there's good potential here on DocuSign. We've got good time frame continuity for us there as well. We move on to GME. That's a hammer candle. Calls at 21.24. Goldman Sachs inside bar. Calls at 357.67. Puts at 353.92. Inside bar shooter candle. And I'll ask you guys this. If there is anything that you guys want me, like you're looking for videos on stuff, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys are looking for. If you guys would be interested in doing like a mini class on like a Google Meets, where we would have a limited number of people come in and we can go through some of the basics. If you're new, let me know that as well. Okay. JP Morgan, this is a shooter candle. Okay. So we have that big long wick, the body at the bottom, and that body or the wick is at least 2 times the size of that body. Gives us that pure shooter candle. No real wick here. So it looks like a putter or an inverse hammer. Okay. So more of a bearish setup. So we can look for puts at 156.60, calls still possible at 157.70. We move into Coca-Cola Inside bar on Coca-Cola, calls at 61.33, puts at 60.74. Inside bar on Microsoft. Rob Smith used to call this Mr. Softy. One of my favorite things that he used to say. Calls at 331.11, puts at 327.52. Oracle, inside bar, actually a 3-1 setup on Oracle. Okay, look at this, triple inside bar, and it did exactly what it said it was going to do, run up. Just like this double inside bar, perfect run to the downside. And that's all we're looking for, guys. The probability is there on these plays. Okay, we looked for the last time we had a 3-1. This is what we look for. This one, I wouldn't want to say it didn't work out because we still hit targets but then reversed through. But this 3-1, nice run up, and it ended up going even higher. Okay, that's all we're looking for. It's all in the probability. We move on to QQQ. Okay, hammer candle to the upside. Calls at 375.29. First target, top of the outside bar. We move on to Wells Fargo WFC inside bar. So calls at 45.46, puts at 44.92. XLU. Not quite a shooter candle, but XLU has been tumbling. We've got full time frame continuity right across the board. We have this inside bar. This purple line, guys, that's what I use for my 3-month charts. So if you look on XLU, we had a double inside bar on XLU. We've shown you how powerful. Let's go see if there was a double inside bar previously. So right here, okay, back in 2020, we had this double inside bar, and then this is on the 3-month chart. Let me remind you. And we had this big run up, okay? So a nice run off of the double inside bar. We have the same thing again, and we've already trended to the downside. Okay, so we've already broken the trigger on that 3-month. So we can look at those higher time frames to see where the buyers are, where the sellers are, how a stock is doing. Okay, so we go back to the daily. Like I said, we've already trended to the downside on that 3-month. Okay, so we're already down. So if I'm looking at this, I'm saying there's a very high probability that the Spider Select Fund for utilities continues to trend down over the next 3 months. Now, this opened in August 7th, it looks like. Or was that where we are? Sorry, this is the day. The 3-month opened in July. So we still have some time here, July, August, and September, for this to continue to trend down. So it's just another thing, another tip, another hint that you guys can look for when you're looking for setups. Da Vinci says, can you post on YouTube live trading vid? I'm having mental problems with overthinking it, bro. Scaring myself out. So these always get posted to YouTube, even the live ones. But when you go into the channel, you have to click on the live section. That's where all the videos are. So I sometimes feel like looking at XLU, right? It's too low now. So I'm thinking when I get in on puts, going actionable, it'll go against me. You ever feel like that? Well, I trust the process, Da Vinci. I trust the rules, and I trust the process. I know this stuff works because I've used this strat for over. I started looking at it in 2021, I believe, the summer of 2021. I didn't start trading it till the winter of 2022, so coming into January. I just studied it, I backtested it. So I did a lot of work, a lot of research in this specific strategy before I started trading it. You can say it's too low, dude, but we're following what the candlesticks are telling us, okay? Just like I showed you guys. I went into the 3-month, okay? We're following what the candlesticks are telling us. We've triggered, and we're looking for that break. So if we go just look at the last time we had a double inside bar, and I'm not saying it happens exactly the same every single time, but the last time we had this setup right here, double inside bar, look at the run it went on, okay? If you would have gone in at the trigger at 61.91, you would have taken it to 67.87. Okay, that's a $6 gain, 10%. Okay, just on common share price, 10% in a 3-month period on common shares. Okay, but I'm not saying that exact same thing is going to happen here, but we've already triggered to the downside, okay? That's all I'm saying. And then XOP, okay? We have the inside bar and XOP on the daily as well. And you can see here we've got that full time frame continuity to the upside. And again, you can say you're scared of getting in because you're already at above here, but this is it's consolidating, okay? So after we have consolidation, we look for a break. We're looking for that breakout, high or low, okay? Just like we did here. Inside bar, broke to the high side. Inside bar, we gapped up and then came back down. Again, probabilities. Doesn't always play out exactly the way we want, but inside bar, break to the high side. Inside bar, break to the high side. Okay? Inside bar, break to the downside. Inside bar. Here's one that didn't work. I said it doesn't always work. But if you look at all the ones it did, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 out of 4 worked. Okay? We can go here. It broke to the downside. Keep on going back. Okay, look. Break to the downside. Double inside bar. Break to the upside. Okay? Here, inside bar, broke to the upside. The majority of the time, the probability tells us that it works the overwhelmingly majority of the time. Okay? And that's all I'm trying to push out to you guys. So that's the list. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching and tuning in. I don't do these videos for myself. They're for you guys. I take the time out of my day to put these videos out for free for you guys. So I appreciate you guys tuning in, all of you guys who have tuned in. I appreciate the subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed, you can do so, and then click the bell. The bell will give you the notifications for when I do these videos, okay? So you'll get the notification when I'm coming on live to do these videos for you guys. So thank you guys for watching. Have a really, really great night, a great evening. Have a great Tuesday tomorrow, guys. I wish you nothing but the best when you trade. If you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the video. Leave them on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. You can find me there. You can DM me there. Or you can get a hold of me on the Discord. Okay, the Discord's free to join, guys. Join the Discord and ask questions. There's a lot of guys that post their wins there and are willing to help you guys out. So make sure you get in there. And then if you want the little bit of extra help, I do one-on-ones. I have the Griswold Gold membership that gives you the 1-hour strat course, the live trading bots, the indicator that I talked about with you guys here. That's part of the Gold members as well. Gives you the top fives and a bunch of other stuff. So thank you guys for tuning in again. I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. I feel really blessed and grateful to have the amount of subscribers that I do and have you guys ask me for the help. So thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.